Islam is insanely strong. Like, he's got that sort of elite grappling strength that comes from decades of throwing human bodies around.
Yeah.
There's a thing about that. Like, here is Demetrius Johnson says, I felt it, I know. Max Holloway just texted me, how strong is that Darce? Like, that's a sick Darce. Islam is elite.
Yeah.
He's elite when it comes to, like, strangling people. Champion, dominant champion, submitting everybody, underdog. That's how good Islam is. That's nuts.
He is the perfect professional, and he is the guy that deserves.
With a highly anticipated fight between Garry and Islam Makhachev getting closer, Joe Rogan has shared his thoughts on how he believes Islam Makhachev will dominate the Irish fighter.
Things that you see about Islam, he's a very unique way of doing the Darce, is Islam grabs his own wrist like this to finish it, whereas other guys go all the way down to the bicep. And the thing about grabbing the wrist like that that's really good is you can make it a little bit tighter in a situation where you can't, like some guys, they have too much bulk and maybe your arms are too short. You can't get the, like, having long arms is really important for a Darce. Like John Jones must have a wicked Darce, because you can get the arms all the way through if they're long, then you can cinch it up. But Islam cinches it up actually by grabbing a hold of his wrist. And so it gives you extra space, and the grip that he uses is incredibly tight. He's also insanely strong.
Breaking it down further, Dustin Poirier joined Joe Rogan in analyzing Makhachev's unique submission technique. He explained that it is very different from a standard Darce choke. According to Poirier, Islam locks in the choke using his forearm instead of the usual bicep position, making it incredibly effective. He said that once Makhachev fully secures a hold, an opponent can lose consciousness almost instantly.
Moicano filled in last minute to fight Islam and got caught with the same choke. It's kind of like a Darce choke, but he locks it on his forearm. He doesn't go to the bicep.
I know.
And the squeeze is different. He's pulling to his chest. It's not like a angle squeeze. It's different. So the defense is different. When I got my legs out and tried to walk around, he hooked my leg, but like the squeeze is completely different. Completely different. You know, you belly down and kind of get some space to breathe. You can't.
Like Dustin Poirier, Joe Rogan also highlighted the danger of Makhachev's forearm choke, saying it cuts off blood flow almost immediately instead of gradually. He mentioned that Craig Jones gave an excellent explanation of why the technique is so effective, adding that the Dagestani's incredible physical strength is a huge reason behind its success. Rogan believes Islam's combination of strength, pressure, and elite grappling skills makes him one of the toughest fighters to face.
First time I saw him do it, I was like, maybe he just like couldn't cinch up the bicep. And then I saw him do it a second time. I was like, no, this guy's trying to do it that way. He grabs right here, right? And Craig Jones did an awesome breakdown of it on YouTube where he explains why it's effective and what's so good about it.
And when he gets the grip locked in, like it's complete, immediate blood shutdown. You know, usually you feel it slowly fading away. It was like right away.
Wow, so that dude's got a back.
Like the whole started
drive-through movie on.
The darkness started coming in like as soon as he got the grip.
Really?
Yeah.
He's so fucking strong, man. There's like something about those.
Rogan also spoke about how Makhachev's dominance has completely changed every division he has competed in. He pointed out that no matter who stands across from him, Islam has a way of making top fighters look average, which shows just how great he really is. Rogan added that Makhachev's ability to finish opponents with submissions is what makes him such a remarkable champion and separates him from everyone else.
Oliver was the underdog.
But it was not a lot, but yeah, he was.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
insane.
Champion, dominant champion, submitting everybody, underdog. That's how good it is.
Meanwhile, John Jones shared his prediction for the Makhachev versus Garry matchup, saying that Islam's wrestling background will most likely be the deciding factor. He explained that Makhachev has the ability to choose whether the fight stays standing or goes to the ground, giving him a major advantage. Jones also praised Islam's strong team and deep-rooted beliefs, saying they provide a solid foundation for his success. He finished by saying that Makhachev's proven track record makes him the clear favorite to win.
Against Garry next, right? I assume that Islam's going to win that one just because of his wrestling pedigree. You know, to be able to dictate if the fight's going to be standing or on the ground, it's a great gift. Another guy with a strong team behind him, strong faith. I'm not rooting for anyone in that fight because I don't know either one of those guys on the personal level, but I'm assuming that Islam's gonna win.
Sharing a similar opinion, MMA legend Georges St-Pierre said Islam will try to take the fight to the ground whenever possible. He explained that successful takedowns would give Makhachev a huge advantage over Ian Garry. At the same time, GSP acknowledged that Garry is a dangerous striker and would have the edge if the fight stays on the feet. He believes the outcome will depend on which fighter can control where the action takes place. In the end, he gave a balanced view, recognizing the strengths that both fighters bring into the matchup.
That's wow. I think it's gonna be a good fight. Ian Garry, it's definitely a tough opponent, very good striker. But Islam once again, his goal gonna be to bring the fight to the ground, and I think if he's able to do that, he's gonna have an edge. If Ian Garry is able to keep it on the feet, and Ian gonna have an edge, so it's gonna be a...
St-Pierre also gave his opinion on Makhachev's overall abilities, describing him as one of the most complete fighters compared to the current welterweight division. He pointed out that Islam's ground game gives him a clear advantage over most opponents. GSP believes Makhachev will continue relying on those skills whenever he competes at 170 pounds. He added that Islam's well-rounded skill set separates him from the rest of the division, and said his future success would depend on how well he can impose his style on every opponent.
Has the edge in terms of skills because he's more well-rounded. He can do it all, and he, especially with his grappling, he's got an edge in that department, and I think that's what he's gonna try to go for when he fights.
Meanwhile, Makhachev's head coach Javier Mendez spoke about Islam's move to the welterweight division. He explained that Islam enjoys not having to go through difficult weight cuts anymore. Mendez also said that Makhachev has added noticeable muscle and size since moving up. He praised Islam's work ethic and dedication, saying those qualities made the transition much easier. According to Mendez, fighting at welterweight allows Makhachev to perform at his best, and his added strength makes him an even bigger threat in the division. He also raised the question of whether Islam is enjoying life more as the welterweight champion than he did as the lightweight champion.
I'm sure he's enjoying it because he's become a legendary fighter now. No matter what happens, he's a legendary fighter, and he's going to be considered in the pound for pound list. Where he ranks in the pound for pound list when he's finished, we'll see. But the eating part, I think he loves the fact because this man loves to train. And Safe Safula, the coach that's with him the most, is getting him lifting weights, and he's bigger. I had told you guys. No. Islam was bigger, so he's a much bigger guy. So it could very well be that when he loses weight, he loses maybe the same amount of kilos that he did when he was a lightweight,
Mendez also discussed a potential fight between Makhachev and Ian Garry, calling Garry the top contender in the welterweight division. He admitted that Kamaru Usman would have been the toughest stylistic matchup, but said Garry is the best available opponent. Mendez stressed that Islam's ability to stick to a game plan will be extremely important against a skilled striker like Garry. He believes Makhachev's versatility, fight IQ, and experience will give him the advantage. In the end, he said that Islam's careful preparation could be the key to victory.
Garry, out of all the guys, as far as ranking, I think he's number one. And for me, stylistically, I've always said, because Islam wants to fight him, is Kamaru Usman, to me, stylistically, is our toughest challenge. But the Ian Garry is the rightful number one, in my opinion. And then from there, maybe Michael McDonald, the old kickboxing guy. And then Carlos Prates really impressed me. Really impressed me what he did.
How crazy
JDM.
was that, man? The Carlos Prates performance of the JDM.
It was.
On the other hand, Chael Sonnen reacted to Ian Garry's claim that beating Makhachev would make him the pound-for-pound number one fighter in the world. Sonnen admitted that Garry's logic made some sense, but said the welterweight contender was getting ahead of himself. He pointed out that Garry is not even ranked in the current pound-for-pound list, making the statement very bold. Sonnen suggested that Garry was acting as both a fighter and a promoter, creating more excitement around what is already a massive challenge.
The number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world by beating Islam. And by the way, if you beat Islam, are you the number one pound for pound fighter in the world? Like, he's not necessarily wrong. It would just seem to me, guy like Garry, guy's the number one contender. He comes out, goes out, gets his world title shot. I mean, that's the number one thing that he's working towards. So he gets the title shot, and then he's got to go out and get the belt. Now, it's a byproduct, right? The belt is a byproduct. If you go get rounds 1, 2, and 3 better than he got rounds 1, 2, and 3, or you could even do it in 3, 4, and 5, or you could get 1 and 4 and 5, or you could do.
Sonnen also shared his thoughts on the welterweight title picture, echoing points made by Michael Bisping. He acknowledged that Garry has earned impressive wins over top contenders like Belal Muhammad and Carlos Prates, building a strong resume. Sonnen also said Kamaru Usman deserves consideration, but believes Garry's youth and continued improvement make him a very exciting option. He argued that even in his loss to Shavkat Rakhmonov, Garry proved he belongs among the elite. Sonnen concluded by saying the welterweight division needs someone like Garry to bring fresh excitement.
Garry is the number one ranked guy on the planet, and he's beaten some tremendous fighters along the way. And of course, he took Shavkat Rakhmonov in a number one contender match, took him 5 rounds, almost got a submission in the 5th round. Since then, he comes back and the man is still fighting. Last time out, he took out Belal Muhammad, who's a former champion. Before that, he took out Carlos Prates, one of the hottest names right now in the division. You can't deny what he's done in his career. You just can't, Bisping said. As much as you might want to, you can't. When he got in the deep end of the division against the MVPs and the Jeff Neals, Carlos and Belal, what did he do? He won all those fights. Okay. I like this theme, and there is nothing wrong with making a prediction that Ian Garry is next. There would be nothing wrong.
Like Chael Sonnen, Henry Cejudo also analyzed the Makhachev versus Garry matchup and said Ian has a real chance to pull off an upset. He explained that Garry's high fight IQ and well-rounded offense could create serious problems for the champion. Cejudo believes Ian's ability to mix up his attacks and control the distance could keep Makhachev guessing throughout the fight. He emphasized that although Islam is a favorite, overlooking Garry would be a mistake. He finished by saying this fight will reveal a lot about both fighters and their championship qualities.
Pro wrestling, like every time there's a wrestler that's going up against a striker or whatnot, I'll always kind of tend to go with the wrestler, particularly if I know their mindset a little bit. But in this one, man, and I'm good friends with Islam. Obviously, I'm not counting this dude out, but I'm just saying, bro, I still go back and I think of some of the weapons that Ian Garry has, and even Ian Garry, man. Ian Garry can take the back very, very well. He's shown that, man. If you're able to take the back against a guy like Shavkat Rakhmonov and then almost finish him with the smaller guy with longer legs, I personally think this is a good fight for Ian Garry. I think a harder fight would be like a guy like Kamaru, but for Ian Garry, I feel like this is.
Agreeing with Henry Cejudo, Carlos Prates said that even though Ian Garry enters the fight as a betting underdog, he has the skills needed to win. He explained that Garry's smart game plan and technical abilities give him a real chance of defeating the champion. Prates admitted the challenge will be extremely difficult, but believes Ian's style could create unique problems for Makhachev. He stressed that Garry should not be underestimated despite the betting odds, and said both fighters will face a very demanding contest.
Of course, he's an underdog against Makhachev, but I truly believe he have a really good skills to beat Makhachev, you know. Of course, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard fight. I think if he would the guy like knock people out a little bit more, he hurt a little bit more, would be like less hard to beat Makhachev, you know. He do a lot of points. He don't hurt people, you know. But I think he have a chance, really good chance, like real chance, you know, to beat Makhachev. But
on the other hand, another analyst shared his opinion on what it would take to beat Makhachev, saying that winning by decision is highly unlikely. He explained that Islam stays calm and in control throughout his fights, making him extremely difficult to beat on the judges' scorecards. He believed the best path to victory is to hurt Makhachev early and disrupt his rhythm. If Islam is allowed to fight comfortably with both his striking and grappling, he will most likely win. He concluded that a stoppage may be the only realistic way to take the belt from the champion.
He's gonna do like he did with JDM, you know, like put on the ground and stay on top all the time. I think some points of the life, Ian can get up, you know, and then he needs to take down again and things like that. But I think the fight's going this way. I think Islam. It's really hard to beat him by points. You need to knock him out, hurt him and knock him out. You know, like make him go out of his game. You know, like
right.
Because if he stay like comfortable to some punch and takedowns.
Daniel Cormier, a longtime supporter of Islam Makhachev, also reacted to Ian Garry's bold prediction. He acknowledged that the welterweight contender has the skills needed to compete with the champion. Cormier pointed to Garry's height, reach, striking ability, and strong takedown defense as reasons why he could be a difficult matchup. However, he said Garry did not need to predict a specific round to finish the fight. According to Cormier, in today's 2026 MMA landscape, where underdogs have been pulling off major upsets, Garry's confidence should not be ignored. He summed it up by saying Garry only needs to focus on winning, because the method of victory does not matter.
Game planning necessary to get this one done. He's not going to be much bigger than Islam Makhachev. I've already seen people putting out the weights and saying that Makhachev's actually going to be weighing in a little bit more than Ian Garry for this division. It hurts me to say this, but is Islam Makhachev's win over JDM as impressive as we once thought? You know, to not come close to submitting him, to never really be able to beat him up on the ground, is he just going to go out there and submit Ian Garry? Way bigger than him, way taller than him, not bigger than him, but frame-wise. That's a tougher man to hold down. Ian Garry's very athletic. Yes, Shavkat Rakhmonov got him down in the fight, but Shavkat pre-ACL tear. Listen, Shavkat pre-ACL tear was... And this is interesting to see Garry get the shot over Prates and Morales, because there were rumors that it was going to be Morales. And I was saying the whole time, no, it should be Ian Garry. He's the #1 contender in the welterweight division. He's the most proven out of any of the contenders. I'm sorry, Morales just beat Sean Brady and clobbered him because he's an imp for the division. That doesn't really prove much to me other than finishing potential. And Prates got schooled by Ian Garry when Garry stepped up on short notice. So I do think they've picked the right contender for...
Бои, там, кто-то рассказывает, я вижу интервью, что там диски были первых боев UFC в нужное время. Вот у меня было тогда такое время, когда я менял разные виды спорта от одного к другому, переезд там с Махачкалы, я переехал там в пригород.
Так каждый. Что-то больше нету.
The boys shoot that, you ready to put